Okay, welcome everyone. Welcome everyone. Immediately you come in quickly, if you are able, just mute yourself. Immediately you come in, just quickly mute yourself. Yeah, of course, I'll try by all means to mute from this end, but immediately you come in, just mute yourself. That'll be perfectly nice. That'll be perfectly nice. Okay, so welcome everyone. Welcome everyone. I can see people are still joining. People are still joining. Okay, impressive stuff there. Impressive stuff there. Right. Okay. Right. So tonight, welcome, and we will be discussing chili nursery management. Chili nursery management. Yeah. So what will happen is that we will try our level best to be as precise as possible and help our farmers you understand each and every element of what is involved in the nursery management. So allow me just to begin now sharing the screen. Yeah, let me begin sharing the screen. There we go. There we go. Right, let's begin from here.
Strategic food security, and at NutriGreen Investment, we strive in realizing strategic food security and achieving long-term growth and sustainability. NutriGreen Investment is a sprouting enterprise with robust organic probiotic methods of innovative farming. We have eco-friendly ingenious methods of animal disease prevention and crop production using organic methods. We believe in the richness of nature and healing wonders livestock food supplements, which when ingested into the system, helps in building the immune system to fighting disease and build resistance. In our quest to redefine agriculture and improve lives, at NutriGreen Investment, we offer the following services: agriculture extension, market aggregation, agribusiness development, crop, livestock, and aquaculture technical support, consultancy and training. In addition to further support eco-friendly farming systems, we stock and sell Diatom concentrate feed supplement for livestock, which eradicate parasitic presence in livestock and improves immunity. This product is a tested organic feed supplement. We also stock a variety of probiotics organic fertilizers from liquid to granular to enrich your soils and improve crop yields. In ensuring our network of African agripreneurs are kept abreast with innovative technology, this has been done through working with Jacaranda Hub, IATA, and USAID Edge project. We catalyze actionable knowledge and believe that the future of agribusiness is now. Are you desiring to take farming as a business? For more information, you can visit us in PHI, Benwinga Road, Lusaka, and Chongwe, and subscribe to be part of the organic family. Or reach us on 0968 918871 or 0953 623201. NutriGreen Investment Limited, redefining agriculture, improving lives.
Okay, thank you so much. So that was basically our advert. For those who've just joined us, you are welcome to Nursery Investment Limited, a private-owned company that has to do with agriculture extension service and market aggregation. Okay, so tonight we are discussing chili production, but what we have done is that we have been doing this, sharing it in bits and in parts, so that our farmers are able to be kept abreast with knowledge, information, and understanding that has to do with farming production. So we had gone low a bit on our online training, but now the good news is that we are back well, and not only back, but we are back and better. So our training will be always every Sunday, 20 hours, hoping that we'll be just hitting an hour or 45 minutes. So we have made sure that the notes have been, shortened so that we are able to get the best out of our interaction in the shortest possible way. So we'll be coming every Wednesday and Sundays at 20 hours. So this will be done on Zoom, and then later on we'll be able to record and share this information on other platforms such as Facebook and also our YouTube page. Right, so you are welcome. And tonight we'll be looking at chili nursery management. So you'll agree with me that each and every crop that we grow has to undergo what we call a meristemic stage. Now, a meristemic stage, this is the very early stage of life for a plant. And it is very critical and crucial when the plant is just growing and beginning its life that we give it the best management, because once we mess up the management at nursery level, and then actually we are disturbing not only the growth, but it will have an effect on the end of it all. And that has to do with it. The yield will be disturbed, the fruiting will be disturbed, and just the entire growth will be disturbed. If the disease problem, begin to disturb you at nursery level, you are expecting it to be, having a challenge with you as you grow on. So let's look at management. What is involved in this chili management? What type of nurseries are there? Where do we begin from? What is involved? What should we do? How should we do it? Okay, so you as a farmer and me as a farmer, we need to understand that raising seedlings, it is very important. Not only raising seedlings, but also raising healthy seedlings. Now, this is a seedling that is already, for example, in the field. It has been transplanted. It needs to look healthy. In terms of coloration, you have to make sure that it is green. In terms of diseases, you have to make sure that there are no brown leaves that have already begun just after transplanting. I'm sure many of us, we have experienced a situation where just after transplanting, we begin to see our, seedlings turning yellow, others turning brown, others at the base there, you'll already have specks or patches of coloration, okay? So once you begin to see such, it should be able to worry you as an SME or worry you as a small scale farmer or as a smallholder farmer, because your crop actually is indicating to you that it is not well. So what then should be done for you to get the best seedlings that are healthy, seedlings that will grow according to time, space, and also according to its period of time to grow? I think you've also realized that there are times when you grow your seedlings, some seedlings, they grow slower than others, they grow faster than others, they are more vigorous, others they give you more fruits, others give you less, others give you more, sproutings, others don't. So you as a farmer, that should be a sense of concern, okay, that why is there a disparity in the growing of my crop? And all this stuff we're talking about emanates and begins from the seed and the seedling. Okay, so we have two options of seed management or seedling growing. Two options. So the first option is called the seed bed. The seed bed option. Now, when we talk about the seed bed option, we are practically talking about planting of the seed direct in the soil. It's a very common practice, especially for smallholder farmers, small scale farmers, and the rural farmers, and also those who don't have enough finance when it comes to growing of, this seed. And also it's a common practice when you are using OPV seed. An OPV seed is open, pollinated variety. That's what we call OPV, open pollinated variety, or rather a landrace seed, or maybe we say a local seed. Okay. Now I will request that those who are not muted, let's see if we are able to mute ourselves. Okay. Let's see if we're able to mute ourselves. Right. So what I'm saying is that OPV is open pollinated variety, or the landrace seed, or the local seed. For example, you've heard, like in the maize world, you've heard of Gankata. Gankata is an open, OPV, it's open, pollinated variety. So even in the chili world, we have chilies that are landrace. For example, Africa Bedai, the chili that we've been talking about, we have both the hybrid seed and also we have the landrace seed, or the open pollinated variety. Okay, now we will not be discussing different types of seed and breeds. We are going to have another session in the coming weeks on how to identify a quality seed. How do you know that this seed is quality? How do you know that this seed is good? So today we'll look at land preparation, so that once we have understood how we prepare the seed, how we do the seedlings and everything, the next time now we can look at the seed and its varieties. And then what should you look for as a farmer? So that when you go and buy that particular seed, you should be able to go and plant the seed that is correct after you have understood the skill that is needed when it comes to, the planting of seed. So the seed bed, I was saying the seed bed, usually, this is where you do the soil preparation. Okay, so seed beds of 1 meter wide usually are prepared. Okay, so you prepare a 1 meter wide seed bed, and then length will be according to the number of seed that you want to prepare. So others, if you're going to do a 2,000, for example, plants, you may just need a 1 meter by 1 meter. It may be enough. If you're going to plant maybe 6,000, you may just need a 1 meter by about 4 meters. It will be enough. If, for example, you're going to plant, 16,000, which is for a hectare, you may need a 10 meters by 1 meter. So the length of this particular seed bed will be determined by how many seed you want to plant. So the seed bed should be made 10 to 15 centimeter high from the ground. What that means is that you need to pulverize the soil. You need to, to plow, or rather to dig at least a 15 to 20 centimeter depth. Immediately you've dug that soil, the soil will come up. Once the soil has come up, then you can quickly, spread your soil quite straight. After spreading the soil with your rake, and then open it up in the sides, so that you make something like a sunken bed, where when you water should not overflow, especially when it is in the dry season like this time. But when it is in the rain season, we recommend that the seed bed should only be flat, so that it doesn't hold water for too long. Because if you hold water for too long, like in the rain season, you may begin to incubate pathogens. And once you begin to incubate pathogens and fungus begin to grow, and bacteria in your soil because of dumping, you may have a situation where you begin to have what we call dumping off, which is a disease that is very common, on the seed bed. And then from there, incorporate, okay, a 1 kg of rotten cow, or chicken, or pigs, or goat manure, or rabbit manure, okay, a kg per square meter. So 1 kg per square meter, you sprinkle around, right? After sprinkling around this, this manure, and then incorporate it into the soil. And then from there, you add about 100 grams of super phosphate. Then you get again a 50 grams, so you get 100 grams of super phosphate. You get a 50 grams of muriate of potash. I'm sure you've heard people now, mop fertilizer, mop fertilizer. The actual meaning actually of mop is, we call it the Marriott or Muriate or Marriott. I don't know how we can pronounce it, but it's a, Marriott potash fertilizer. So 3 to 5 days before putting your seed in the soil, you make sure that you should have prepared, your land very well. Then you incorporate it in the soil, and then you pulverize the soil, you mix it with the rake, and then you do a light watering so that it can be, taken into the soil. Now, what will happen with the mop? Why do we add the mop or potash? You remember that we are looking at the seed that is germinating. So as the seed is germinating, usually it has the first food in the seed within itself. But immediately the seed has germinated, it will need to find food outside. And because it is developing the first roots, okay, in the soil, it will need potash or potassium, okay? So this potassium, it is going to help actually with the growing of a firm stem, a well-targeted, stem, and then good leaves, and also well-developed roots, okay? So make sure that you do the proper incorporation per square meter and add. And then before this is done, 48 hours before. Now, this has been learned from our side, from our experience. What we have observed is that when you dress your seed that you want to plant 48 hours before, when you dress your seed 48 hours before, so you get your seed, you soak it in water, and this water you add the plant catalyst. Now, plant catalyst, we have this plant catalyst we sell as a company. Plant catalyst is a soil, it's a seed or a crop enhancer. Okay, it helps to absorb nutrients into the plant. And what we have learned is that when actually you soak it in the plant catalyst, the results have been amazing, in terms of germination. The germination has just been amazing, okay? In the next 2 weeks, we'll be going to somewhere in Chisamba. We have planted about, the Nutri-Green has partnered with one of the farmers actually in Chisamba. And 2 weeks ago, we planted about 44,000 of seed, and we soaked that seed. We put that seed and drenched it with plant catalyst. So in 2 weeks' time, we'll go there to go and check how the crop is coming up, and it's just amazing on what is happening. Okay, so that's what you do. So once you've soaked it, you get 10 mils of the plant catalyst to 1 liter of water. Okay. Okay, let me mute the big man there. He's speaking. Okay, wonderful. Okay, let me see if I can manage to mute him. I think he's muted. Perfect. This is nice. Right. Okay. So 1 liter, okay, of water, mix it with 10 mils of plant catalyst, and then you put your seed there, leave it for 48 hours. So for example, if you're going to you want to plant today, Sunday, it means you'll be planting on Wednesday. Okay, so that your seed has fallen, and then that is what we call breaking the dormants. Now, when you are breaking the dormants, you are basically assisting this seed. Remember, chili seed takes about 14 to 21 days before it germinates. But immediately you do this, you would have helped it to take off the journey of germination. The germination actually, becomes easier and faster. So when you are done with this now, you make your lines. So make sure that it's between 10 to 20 centimeters apart. You make about 1 to 1.5 centimeter depth. Let not just be too deep, just, a slim depth. And then you make those lines, okay? And after making those lines, then you come in and then you plant your seed. Once you've planted your seed in the soil, and then the next thing is what we call mulching. Now, what you are seeing here, this is one of our farms. This is in Lusaka West. We've done 22,000 here also. Now, remember, we've been making a call to our farmers the past 1.5 years. I think we have been calling on farmers to come on board, buy the seed and go and plant. But unfortunately, the outcome has not been very good. We still have a lower number in terms of production. So what we have done is that we have partnered with different people who have land, and I think we are almost home now as a company. So we will be growing our own chili. Whilst we are still growing, of course, we still need your chili, people. So this is our chili, 22,000 also in Lusaka West, and we have our manager there who is managing it. So we planted after finishing. This is what the mulching is what it means. So mulch the seed bed with a paddy straw or any agricultural waste material, and then you put it on top. You've seen there, these were using the maize stalks. There was fresh maize there just before we planted the seed. So And then once you are done, spray the beds. Spray the bed on the soil and also on the mulch. Spray with chlorpyrifos. Chlorpyrifos will be able to control and avoid ants and also grasshoppers and other insects that may come to disturb your germination. So spray, spray on top of the mulch, spray on top of the soil just after transplanting. Sorry, not transplanting, after planting the seed. Right, so once that has been done, okay, so this is the first mulching where you can make, you put sticks behind on the sides, and then on top you put your mulch, right? And then down there you find there's enough temperature passing, enough air passing, and all that. Okay, why are we using this? This is one of the ways, because the stalks are heavy. These stalks are heavy. So if you put them direct on the soil, what may happen is that you may disturb germination. Then the option 2 of mulching is this style. Okay, the other mulching is why you use grass. Now remember, grass is small, so this you can just put direct on top of the ground or on the bed, and then water the nursery bed daily or twice according to the season till after germination. Okay, once or twice in a day. If it is hot, you can do twice. If it is cold, you can do once. So check the moisture before you water. You use the rule of thumb. We may not be there to check how much water you've watered, but you can tell that there's enough moisture by just flipping up, the mulch. Check the moisture content. If it's still wet, leave it. Do not water. So that's why we have put that rule. And then chili would take about 5 to 7 weeks to be ready for transplanting. So now, in the last week, just before transplanting, harden your seedlings. Okay, harden your seedlings. By then, just after germination, it has taken off. Just after germination, once you've seen that the first 2 leaves have come up and they have opened, what you need to do is remove all the mulch now. Open it so that it is exposed now to the sun, so that it can have enough sun and then have what we call the good phototropism, so that it can have an attraction against the stimuli, which is the temperature, the heat, and the environment. Right, so make sure that in the last week of its readiness going into the field, what you need to do is harden your seedling. What do we mean by hardening? Hardening means you withdraw or you reduce watering to allow the seedlings undergo the process of becoming resistant to drought and stress. Remember, when you harden them, you are going to transfer them. Okay, so when they have been hardened, they will help you when you move them from one field where there's a nursery into the main field. They will not go through the process of stress because they are used to be deprived of the water. So don't deprive them to a level where your water now has to destroy the crop. No, just reduce or stop for about 7 days. Then now come and water and then extract them from the soil. Then you can transfer them to the main field and go and transplant. That way, your crop will grow perfectly well with less stress. Okay, so this was the first option, right? This was the first option. And then we have also the second option. The second option is called the green or screen house nursery. Green or screen house nursery. Okay, I'm sure there's Mr. Nyongi here. Mr. Nyongi, what is the difference between a greenhouse and a screen house? Let me get something to hear from farmers. Mr. Nyongi, or anyone else who has an answer, you can post in the chat, or you can just unmute and speak. What is the difference between a greenhouse and a screen house? Let me learn something today. Any difference? Anyone has an answer, an idea? I'm waiting. We are 50 here. I know there should be someone who has an idea or who knows. Let's learn from each other. This is B2B now, business to business learning. Let's interact. Makana, mafamazi ukamba.
Okay, hello.
Aha, perfect. This is what I was waiting for. Yes, please.
Just trying. A greenhouse
Yes.
is, I won't use so much of technical language, but a lot of words to define it in the layperson way of understanding. A greenhouse is that structure you make, which is like transparent. It can allow in the sunlight, good for the plant to have the green stuff that we need in it. And then the screen house is the one which is just colorless, but meant to allow like, please forgive me.
But this is Madam Zoe. I'm sure this is Madam Zoe, right?
Yes, please.
Yes, go. You're on track.
The screen house. The screen house has eluded my mind. I think it's age.
I see.
Sorry, I can't go further on the screen house.
That is Madam Zoe. I'm sure you have.
Don't set an exam.
You have a lot of greenhouses in the UK, not so?
Exactly. We do our
and you have less
where I am.
And you have less of the screen houses there because of
the screen houses.
Because of the environment and the temperature issues. Okay, I will explain. But before I explain,
yes,
let's hear someone else. Let's hear someone else.
Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Zoe. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, anyone else?
Hello.
Where's Mr. Nyongi?
Hello.
Yes, Mr. Chester, go ahead.
Yes, I'm asking. When it comes to chili, give or take, I know about the greenhouse emissions, and you're talking about the safe house now. What is the concern about the global climate changing with chili? I'm a newbie when it comes to chili, but then I want to see. Yes, so kindly advise me on that.
Are you able to elaborate your question on? Are you looking at the greenhouse emissions in
the greenhouse?
Go ahead. Yes, go ahead.
I'm based in Zambia. So when it comes to emissions, can you elaborate on that? Be it a greenhouse or the safe house, you're talking about something like that. I'm learning, so I want to know a little bit, juggling here and there.
Oh, I think it's the terminology. I get you. Okay, fine. I'll respond to that question. Yes.
I'm lost. Yes, exactly. I'm lost.
I'm with you. No, I know. I think it's the language of the greenhouse and the greenhouse gas emission. Perfect. That's a good question. I'll respond to that. But for now, let's get to what's the difference between a greenhouse and the screen house. Mr. Nyongi is not here. Okay, I'll find you. Mr. Nyongi, very soon.
Can I try? Can I try?
Please try.
Okay. A screen house, you use glass panes. Because I've seen such here in Msekera, at the Msekera Research Station.
Okay.
And the greenhouse is the one which you use, like it has got a mosquito net stuff like. So that's how I can differentiate myself.
Okay.
Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you for that submission. There's someone let me read what someone has posted. Anthony says, a greenhouse is made from translucent materials. A screen house is made from the shade cloth that allows limited amount of light and air. Okay, now the difference, that is perfect. All the answers that have been submitted are very correct. They're just the degree of difference is what is making them different, but they're all correct. So here's up. Okay, Chunga is submitting also. A greenhouse is for growing certain plants and usually has glass or light admitting type of walls, roofs. Okay, a screen house, from what I can see, is like a tent, except it is built with mesh type material to let air and light in. Right. As I've mentioned, the degree of difference is minimal, but the answers are all correct. Here's how the difference is. A greenhouse is made of a plastic. Okay, a greenhouse is made of a plastic, right? I think you have seen greenhouses, which is made of a plastic, and then they'll have some opening either in the front or up where you, or down, where you allow air coming in at a certain time, then there are times when you close them. That's a greenhouse. Okay, and then a screenhouse, usually we use shade nets. And you know, shade nets usually have small holes across everywhere. So in the basic layman language, that is the difference of the two. Okay, then now coming to my colleague who made a submission earlier, what really is a greenhouse? So I'm sure he was talking about the gas, over to do with gas emissions. Now, when we talk about a greenhouse gas, now, this is the gas that absorbs and emits what we call the radiant energy, okay, within the thermal infrared range. Now, this is science now, which may not be very important. However, it causes what we call the greenhouse effect. Now, when we talk about the greenhouse effect, we're not literally talking about in the greenhouse where we are growing you know, the crops, the seeds and the whatnot. No, but we're looking at the atmosphere, the environment itself. So this is where you find the primary greenhouse gases on the Earth atmosphere. There's water vapor, okay? There's carbon dioxide, there's methane, and then there's what we call nitrous oxide, and also the ozone layer, which you've heard many people talk about. The ozone layer is being eaten. So usually when there's a mixture of these gases in the air that has been emitted by human beings, manure, you know, and all these different emitters, you find that they will begin to warm up the environment up there, which you call the global warming, which has now changed the entire environment because we've been cutting trees and all those things. So basically that is the science part of your question. So, but when it comes to growing, we're talking about those two different, you know, growth. So that's another pattern of growing. So we grow either direct on the soil, where we discussed earlier on, and or in this what we call the greenhouse nursery. Now, what you do in the greenhouse usually is that the first thing is you fill your seed trays with seed raising mixture, which we call the growing media. You can, if in Lusaka, you can buy this from, in Makeni, there's a supplier. When you go to Famarama, they supply under ETG. Then we have also livestock services in Lusaka and Mazabuka, they supply. So you get the growing media. And then you get your trays usually. After you get your trays, you get your growing media, you go on your trays and then spread smoothly, okay, all your soils, that particular, you know, media, spread it across. After you've spread it, the next thing you do is get your seed now, okay? Get your seed and then place it there. Okay, when you get your seed, one seed per hole, and I'm sure you're able to see on the screen what we have projected there, you put them into the hole, one in each. But remember, you should have soaked this seed 48 hours before in the plant catalyst, so that you can enhance germination and you can have the best germination actually in your greenhouse. Then give each tray a good misting watering using a knapsack sprayer or a microject, and then place them on the green or screenhouse shelves. So you water now. Once you have done with this, you go in and water. Take note, do not apply granular fertilizer in the greenhouse, because if you're going to put the granular fertilizer into that one hole, what will happen is going to burn actually your seedlings. Now, this type of raising the seedlings, usually number one, you find you're going to have an even distribution of the growth of the seedlings. Number two, you are going to have quality, especially for hybrids. Okay, there's high likelihood that you may have this almost the same size of seed, because the environment is controlled and you have less attack when it comes to pests and also other outside environmental impacts that could affect your growth. Okay, then once you are done, what you need to do is you spray now. So
hello, hello. Can I?
Yes, please. The submission. Yes, please.
Yes, me. It's me, sir. Can I ask a bit?
Go ahead, Mr. Chester.
Hello.
Yes, please. Go
yes.
ahead.
What about let's say if I want to go organic? Yes, if I want to go organic, organic sprinkling and the likes, can you tell me the best way, please?
Okay, perfect. We will discuss. Okay, thank you for that.
Martin.
Yes, please.
Martin.
Yes, please.
Yes, this is Chandika, the engineer.
Ah, yes, Mr. Joseph.
Yes. I want to ask you one question.
Go ahead.
Is it possible to plant direct using that planter which you plant the seeds?
The plant catalyst.
Than going the route of seedlings.
So you plant direct in the drip in the farm? That's what you mean?
Direct, yes. Where you use a planter which you do the seeds direct.
Yes, it is very possible.
You have seen that planter which uses these seeds, the small seeds you can plant direct.
Yes, please. It is possible. It is possible, but the challenge would be growing in terms of missing out, because if you're going to plant, remember, per station, you just need one seed every 30 centimeters when you begin to grow in the main field. So imagine if your seed is not very healthy. In that you may have a situation where you have certain parts of the farm, you will have a lot of gaps and challenges. That is why we advise the nursery first be done, then from there you transfer it into the main field. Especially that this is a horticultural.
Hello, may I say? May we have questions at the end? I thought this is a presentation, then we will have questions at the end.
Okay.
Otherwise, we'll spend, yeah.
Okay, let me finish. Okay, thank you. So now, once you've done that, you've planted your seed, you've put them in your trays. What you do now, you have a daily spraying. Okay, daily spraying of water using either, I'm sure you're able to see on the screen, we've done the two different approaches. One, you use a hand knapsack sprayer to spray your seedlings. And then the other side is where you have, the microject, which are automated, where they'll be spraying the mist or the water in the field, or rather in the greenhouse. Okay, and then make sure that you have a weekly spray program for your fertilizer, which is the foliar fet, which you mix, okay, in the sprayer. So there are a wider range on the Zambian market. You can either use powder, which you mix in the water, or sometimes you can find the liquid, which actually you mix in the water. And then they are less concentrated, actually comparing them with the granular fertilizers. Why? It is because the soil and the medium you're going to be using, they are quite different. And then some of which could be super grow. You can use Dihygro, you can use Easy Grow, or you can use Voema. And then what is to be noted also is that always mix plant catalyst with your foliar fertilizer according to the foliar instructions. Why do we do that? It is to help you have the best, results, have the best, outcome from this particular growing. So once you grow them that way, you realize that your crop is going to come out very well, and you are going to have the perfect results for your chili, or rather your seedling. And this applies to any other crop that you may have, that you may want to grow as a farmer. So when we reach here, we can now say we are ready to start now growing our seedlings, either the seedbed way, okay, it goes with your capacity, or you can do the seedlings way, which is done in the greenhouse or in the screenhouse. Whichever way you are going to use, make sure that you have done consultations, okay, engage us, okay, let's talk. Where you have questions, then we'll professionally advise you on the best route that you can take, okay? Yeah, that is what it is. So when we come here now, we could say we have come to the end of our chili nursery management interaction, okay, or rather presentation. So what we'll do is now we are going to go into a question session, so that we have people to ask, and then we discuss. So let me just stop sharing the screen, so that now you and me, we can interact. Okay.